Okay, homework 67, Mr. Gass here. This is on station models. Let me talk a little bit what station models are first. So, a station model like this is sort of an abbreviation of how to fit a lot of weather information on a map. And so, in the older days, this may be like a weather map of the United States right here that a meteorologist would use to make weather predictions. All of these are little station models. Let's do a more zoomed in one. So this is a good example of one right here in that so you have a bunch on a map and it has a lot of information, and there is a bit of shorthand here which we'll be learning about today, and basically that's the idea. A lot of different information on a map to be used for weather forecasting, and they're called station models. That's what we'll be dealing with today. So 67, the key thing here is you need to have you need your reference table for this, okay? You need your reference table, and it is on page number 13. It's on the bottom right here. So you need that. Most things you need to know are on there. So let's go through this. This helps you with the color in here. So lightly color over dew point temperature with yellow. So where's the dew point temperature? This is the example they give you, and then this labels everything. So if you look, dew point temperature right there, 27 degrees Fahrenheit, it's right there. So what am I doing with yellow? I'm coloring it so in this case it's 78. That's yellow right there. 2, lightly color over the present weather symbol with blue. So present weather, if you look here, that's present weather. In that case, it's that little star, which means snow. Here, it's that infinity sign, which means haze. Okay, so we're doing that with blue. Blue, that's present weather. 3, lightly color over the number that represents air pressure with red. So, now, a lot of kids get stuck here and they go, I don't see air pressure, I don't see air pressure. Well, the key thing is barometric pressure. You should know that air pressure and barometric pressure are the same. That number represents a shorthand of it. It's really much longer, which we will get into. But let's do that with red, and red right there. 4, lightly color over the section of the station model indicates wind speed with green. So the wind speed is right here. It's these feathers, and they call those feathers, the whole feather's worth 10 knots, half feather is worth 5 knots, and then 1 knot is a little faster than a mile per hour. It's like a nautical and aeronautical term that they use. So we're using green, and basically in this case it's this right here. So it'd be 10, 20, 25 knots is the wind in this case, and color over that with green. Okay, so 5, lightly color over the visibility with purple. So again, this is our example here. Visibility is this number here. So it's in miles, and that's a half mile. So how far you can see, basically how clear it is. If it's really hazy, it would be low, and we're using purple here. We're using purple. And so in this case, it's 1, meaning 1 mile is how far you'd be able to see. Okay, 6, draw a blue circle around the number that shows precipitation during the last 6 hours. So precipitation during the last 6 hours is right here, and that's the only thing that has a decimal point on it. So this is 0.25 inches. In our case here, it's 0.01, and what am I doing? Draw a blue circle. So I'm drawing a blue circle like that. 7, draw a green arrow in the small box showing the direction the wind is blowing. This is one that kids often get wrong. So look at this example here. This is the feather. Look at this. Wind direction from the southwest. So if that's the case, the wind is blowing this way. It always blows from the end toward the circle, from the southwest. So in this case, it is blowing that way. It's blowing that way. So I'm going to go like this. In the box. This is the box right here. And the wind is blowing that way. It is blowing this way here. That is key. And that's something that kids very often get wrong. What is the atmospheric pressure trend over the past 3 hours? Remember, units. So, the barometric trend, what has, over the last 3 hours, what's the air pressure doing? Is it going up, going down, staying steady? Now, this is another one kids often get wrong. Plus 19, and then a little line going up. Let's not worry too much about that. But what that means, it doesn't mean positive 19. What it means is a steady 1.9. So there's a decimal point in there, another piece of abbreviation. They don't write decimals on here very much because they'd be so hard to see on the small maps like I showed you earlier. So this is 0.19. In this case, it is negative 14, but there's a decimal in there, and this is in millibars. So this is important that So it is a negative 1.4 millibars. That is key. What is the current cloud cover? That is the circle here. Cloud cover. So in this case, amount of cloud cover, if 3/4 is colored in here, it's 75%. In our case here, it's half colored in, so it's 50% cloud cover. Another piece of information that's on these station models. What is the current wind speed? Remember units. Well, I talked about this before, and again, you can always refer back to here. This is a whole feather, this is a half. A whole is worth 10, a half is worth 5. So this case is 15. Here I have 2 whole ones and a small one, so that's 10, 20, and then plus 5. 25 knots. Okay, 25 knots, not miles per hour. It is in knots. Okay, so let's go on to the back. So we have another one here, and we're doing that again. 11. What we're doing is color over the number, air pressure green, and oh, note, another word for air pressure is barometric pressure. So we're using green, and it is, I just do that. You don't have to do that. I just do it like that. Okay. 12, color over the number that represents the air pressure trend, blue. It's that. Negative 2.2 would be the answer. Negative 2.2. That is the air pressure trend right there. And then we have 13. In the gray box above, draw an arrow that shows the wind direction indicated by the station model. So you could go back to this and refer to this if you need to. And in this case, the wind is blowing this way towards the circle. So I'm drawing an arrow that shows the wind direction in the gray box. And the wind is blowing that way. So we'd say from the southeast. From the southeast. That's how we describe the wind. That's 13. 14, color over the feathers that indicate wind speed with red. So the feathers are, if you want to use this again, the feathers are noted there. The wind speed with red is that. Okay. Now, take this time, if you're watching this, please do this. Next to the word red, please make a star like that. A star and then circle it. Okay, thank you. Start next to number 14, a star and circle it. 15, color over the symbol that represents the present weather with yellow. So this is the present weather here. You could look here again. Present weather is here, and actually that would be sleet in this case. So I'll color over it with yellow. Circle the number that represents dew point temperature with brown. Dew point temperature is here. So on the circle it's going to be right there. It's going to be 26. Do I have brown? I do have brown. It's right here. I'm going to take a second now. What I want people to do to make sure, see who is definitely watching this. The last 2 digits of your locker number, whatever those are, match them up with the 2 letters. Okay, find your 2 letters, pause it if you need to, and then go to the front of your page and write it right in this spot. Make a box right here. Write those 2 letters in there. This tells me make sure you're doing this diligently. Thank you. So let's keep going. Circle the number that represents the current air temperature, red. So the air temperature, and you can look here again, air temperature is right here, so it's going to be 27. That's red right there. 18, color over the number that represents the precipitation amount over the past 6 hours with green. And this is 0.01 here, and you notice it right there. We're doing it with green. It's going to go like that. And color over the number that represents visibility with blue. And the visibility is this number right here. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do these on your own. Okay. Hopefully you'll be able to get those right. And 25. I'll do 24 so you can check this. Don't check these off. 25. What is the air pressure trend indicated by this station model? So, air pressure trend, if we go back to this, it's called barometric trend. In this case, +19 means +19 equals 1.9. So there's a decimal there. That's the shorthand. So in this case, it says -22, and then it means going down steadily. So that would be this, -2.2 millibars. Okay? So hopefully that helps. Do those on your own. I'm not going to give the answer to those just to save some time. We're going to have a quiz in this. You will have the reference table, so make sure you know how to use it. I'm Mr. Gazda, and I approve of this homework. Thanks for watching.